Dan.
All right, Brian, how are you, man?
All right.
How you building an agency?
I am gonna share my screen as soon as Dan lets me. And
Yeah, you
awesome.
should be good now. I just made you host.
There you go. Thank you. All right, cool. And I actually put together a little thing here. Let me see. Let me switch this. There we go. All right, good. So I had to do this anyway because I'm going to be speaking hopefully at one of the sales conferences. So I decided might as well put together a little PowerPoint on it so I can keep myself on track. But yeah, recruiting. There's two sides to this business. You get out there and sell, and you can make yourself a nice income. You get out there and start recruiting, and you can actually build wealth. I want to. I'm not showing off by putting up my stats, but I want you to get a realistic idea. If you are really pushing hard to recruit, what that actually looks like. Okay. So basically, I started recruiting at the beginning of April, and so I've been doing it for 6 months. In that time, I've hired 224 people. And now here's the real stuff. You get down to it. 95 of them have quit. But right now it wasn't as smooth at the beginning, and I think that Scott and I have really gotten the process down a whole lot better since then. So it's getting better, but 95 of those people quit. 57 of them right now we've got going through the onboarding process. 12 of those are taking exam, 12 more are taking exam, 47 of them are working. So, they've been released to the wolves and are out there working. And in September, we had 13 unique writers. Taking Tiger Woods out of the equation, we end up with $59,629 in sales above and beyond what Tiger, aka Shoddy, has done. So what tools do you need in order to start recruiting? Now, the way that we have it set up with Eagles, and I think that this is pretty much the same as what Dan and 360 are doing, is we have the hiring page. And I think, Dan, I went looking for it on your website just a moment ago and didn't see it. I think maybe you have a different tab for yours other than hiring.
It's a hit. It should be /hiring. It's a hitting link. There's no actual clickable thing on it. It's gonna be a hidden link.
Okay, so mine isn't. So we'll talk about that later to figure out which is right. But nonetheless, so we have the hiring. And what I want you guys to do, if you're interested in building, the first thing you really should do is go to that site and watch the video. Okay, so either ffleagles.com hiring or ffl360.com/hiring. Watch the video that's on there. You can set up your own little FFL website. And I put together a little video to show you how to do that. Here it goes.
Hey, Brian, can you turn it up?
I know it's quiet, man, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you. Step one.
Okay.
Click on the link that it just showed you. Let's see, I'll go back. Step one, click on the link that's right down there in the middle that says create your own website. All right. And then secondly, you're going to fill out this information: first name, last name, your email, and your phone number. And that's it. You're done. All right. So I had to put that together just for the slow readers to make sure that you understood how complicated that process is. But as soon as you do that, it is going to stop. As soon as you do that, it is going to set up a website for you. Now, what I did was I made a redirect for that, ownmyjob.com. All right. I bought that website address. And that way I can share that link, because that link is going to be super long. And so you don't want to try to print that on a business card or anything. It's going to be super long. So I set up a redirect, just GoDaddy.com, and it's pretty simple. You can even call them and they can help you do it if you don't know how to do it. So that when you click on ownmyjob.com, it will actually bring up the website, and mine brought it up on a different screen. So let me bring it over and show you. And this is what it looks like. All right. So this is what it does for you. Brian Fauché invites you to learn about Family First Life. And it's got some information. It's got a video, 5 reasons why this is the place for you. Get instant access. And when you click on that, the person will fill in a little bit of information about themselves, and it'll send you the link so that you can contact them. Okay, so this is a great way to do some recruiting. And once you have made that, you want to share it on social media a lot. I mean, that's kind of obvious. Share it on social media, but you also want to share talking about stuff that's happening with you, maybe pictures of you with a client and that type of thing. So your friends are starting to see all of what you're doing. And then also, I created a little business card, and I have a link for this so that you can get one of these if you want to. You kind of have to change some of the stuff because I made it so it says ownmyjob.com. And so you can kind of spread this around as well. Just it's business card size, and you can encourage people to join in. Okay. And so let's see, I have the cards are at this link, bit.ly, which is bit.ly/FFL jobs. And that's going to put you into Canva, where you can edit it yourself, and you can even have them print them for you if you want them. Okay. The next thing that I did then too is I created this Calendly link. Now, any Eagles that are on here, you can use this link. So the most important thing for me, and the way that we've been building, honestly, the most, is having you guys help us to do it. Okay. So when we bring somebody in, we tell them you're starting at X comp level. And as soon as you bring in another person, you're getting a bump. You're getting moved up 10 or 15 points. Okay. So that's encouragement to you guys, to the agents, in order to recruit on your own. So you don't have to do all this work yourself. Get some people to do the work for you. And so the agents can actually give this link to anybody who says, okay, yeah, I'm interested. Instead of you guys, the agents, needing to figure out the whole onboarding process and recruiting and having to do everything, we will do it all the training. Dan and John and Scott and I will take care of all of it. So you can focus on your core business, and yet you can still build a team. Okay. So all you need are a few things. You reach out to me for that Calendly link, and for the bit.ly link in order to get that card to hang it up and everything too. So we'll do all the work for you. All right. All you have to do is get out there and wave pom-poms at them a little bit and encourage people who are coming on board. All right. So how? Just from talking to people, Shadi will call me all the time and be like, hey, Brian, I'm sitting in a restaurant right here, and this is Mary, my waitress that I'm talking to. And I want you to get her put into the system. She's going to come work for us. So, I mean, like, really, it can be anybody. All right. And that video that's on that website talks about how to conversationally recruit. So that video is very helpful too. That's on the hiring page. Who can you hire? Pretty much anyone in the US. You don't have to, as an agent, be hiring someone who is in your state or in your town. You can hire someone anywhere in the US. The only stipulation to that is if they're in New York, they're going to be selling virtually to other states. Okay. Because New York just doesn't play well with others. And so whether they're licensed or not, so long as they have a clean record. Okay. That's the only thing that they're going to run into problems really in this business, is if for some reason they've got DUIs or they've got an active bankruptcy. You can have a bankruptcy, not a problem. So long as it's discharged, you should be okay. But if they have an active bankruptcy, they're going to kind of have to wait until that's done. Friends, family, clients. I have hired clients for sure. Wait staff, like I was saying, contractors, salespeople who bother you. If they're calling you or they're coming to your house and they want to sell you, man, they are fair game. They're as fair game as anybody in the world could possibly be. Tell them about your opportunity. Okay. So when I'm recruiting, I have it happen to me now and then that somebody is setting up the recruiting appointment with me because they want to try to get me to come to their side. So you can do the same thing. Okay. So people who try to recruit you as well, you can print out those business cards, hang flyers. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about getting people. But the main thing, what we're really doing that is absolutely key is having those people who having our agents do a lot of the recruiting work for us. So encourage anyone that you do hire to do the same thing. All right. And you should have some room as far as your comp level to their comp level so that you can still bump them up. When you're hiring somebody, if you're hiring them 5 points underneath you, then it's going to be tough. There's no encouragement for them to move up. You've got to have some wiggle room so that you can encourage them to move up by hiring as well. So that, and then also what we are doing is emailing, and I don't know why my last slide disappeared, but it's there. Okay. So we have 3 people that we have an agency in the Philippines that we're working with now for dialers. You cannot use a dialer to do your calling for you until you have absolutely mastered dialing on your own. Okay. So please, don't reach out and say, hey, I just started last week and I'd like to have a dialer do all my dialing. They will make a great supplement and a terrible replacement. All right. You're going to lose business and it's going to cost you more money if you hire a dialer to do all your dialing for you. Okay. But if you're looking to do some recruiting, we've got 3 people who right now are dialing to do recruiting. They're setting up appointments in my calendar so I can talk to them, and they can look up agents for you. All right. So you very easily can hire a dialer. They can go online and search for life insurance agents and in a certain state and get a whole list of life insurance agents' names and phone numbers. And then they can call them. All right. And set up the appointments for you to talk to them. As far as emailing goes, the CAN-SPAM laws say that typically it's okay. They don't ever want to commit to anything. Typically it's okay for recruiting to send emails. All right. So if people are saying they're going to report you and blah, 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 there's really nothing they can do. Just put a little copy of the CAN-SPAM laws on the bottom of your emails if you're emailing them. Okay. If you end up buying a list, you can shop around and buy a list, but they're going to cost you 15 cents to 50 cents per name typically. And so that's going to get pricey. It's probably going to be cheaper just to go on Google and find a lot of the names yourself. All right. And then TikTok videos, the recruiting cards, your agents. And I'll tell you my script. It's the last thing I want to cover real quick. When I talk to someone who's interested in the opportunity, I want to give them the good and the bad. I don't want to have somebody start and then waste my time and quit a month later because they didn't know that they're going to have to dial a lot and that dial day isn't that much fun. Okay. So real quick, I'm going to tell you what I say to somebody when I'm having that call. First thing I say is asking them about themselves. I just say, hey, can you do me a favor and just tell me a little bit about yourself? As soon as they finish kind of going through a little information about themselves, I'll repeat something back to them that they told me. So that's awesome. So you're a mother of 2 kids. I have 2 kids also. How old are they? Conversate for a second. And I say, all right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you the little nickel tour of Family First Life for free. Family First Life is an IMO. It's an independent marketing organization. That's a pretty common designation for insurance companies. And what we do is we help independent agents have success as independent agents. Now, that word independent's thrown around a lot in insurance, but I feel like Family First Life does a really good job of keeping you independent. So what do I mean by that? Well, you've got no contract with Family First Life. You're fully vested from day one, meaning that your commissions, your book of business, your renewals are all yours, and nobody can take it away from you. There are no quotas. There's no quota saying you have to sell a certain number of policies. There's no quota saying you have to buy a certain number of leads. And lastly, there are no monthly fees that you have to pay in order to remain a member of Family First Life. So you are truly independent. What we do is provide the structure and the training and the team in order to make sure you have success. And the team part is the best part. I'm an agent myself, and being able to reach out to so many different people with questions when I'm sitting with a client or as I'm trying to learn products has made me feel very comfortable as an agent to be able to do what I need to do. Now, our typical schedule is Mondays and Thursdays are our dial days. No one is in love with dial day. Honestly, dial day is tough. So you're going to sit down, you may dial the phone 300 to 500 times, and with the goal of setting yourself up with roughly 15 appointments. Now, if you can set yourself up with 15 appointments on a dial day, you're going to be very successful here. But you have to remember that means if you dialed 400 times, you dialed the phone 385 times and got nowhere. 15 successful calls. So you got to keep your eye on the donut and not on the hole on dial days. For that purpose, we've got an open Zoom room where you can listen in on agents who have success as they are dialing live. And so you can hear what they say. I recommend having it on in the background so that you can listen to them as you're doing your own dialing. The rest of the week, we're running our appointments with our clients, and we're doing simplified issue policy. So the people don't have to get medical tests done. It can be, you can hand them a policy the same day that you're meeting with them, and they can be insured before you step foot out the door. Your comp rate, I go over, and the comp rate isn't a true comp rate straight across the board. It does vary a little bit depending on which product and which carrier that you use. And then also the best aspect is the team building. So I tell them, if you decide that you want to bring somebody on, I tell them what I just told you guys. We're going to take care of everything for you. We're going to do the onboarding for them. We're going to do the training for them. And all you have to do is wave your pom-poms at them every once in a while. And as soon as they become a writing agent, we're going to bump you up so that you're making an override off of them. That is the entire spiel that I give when I'm recruiting somebody. So I wanted to run through a whole bunch of information for you real quick, but I do want to open it up to any questions that anybody has about all of that.
Dude, I appreciate that, Brian. Thanks a lot for sharing.
Yeah, man.
New stuff on here. So I guess the question that I have is in regards to expectations. Right at the beginning, you kind of went through all your numbers of how many people were hired versus how many people are writing.
Yeah.
What was it like at the beginning, kind of getting that through your head that most people aren't going to go to work? Like, what was that like?
So I didn't really know that it was going to be quite like that. So, and I think I'm glad that I didn't know. And I think that when I first started, a lot of what you're seeing, 224 hired versus 13 unique writers, has been a scale that has changed. I think that the first 3 months of this process, where most of the 95 who quit came from. So it's gotten a lot better, but you definitely have to keep your expectations realistic and know that probably when you're doing it right, 1 out of every 10 agents that you hire is going to, stick with you. And, based on my numbers, half of them are going to become good writing agents. So it feels like a slow process, but in actuality, I've only been doing this for 6 months, so I feel pretty good about the results. It's the same as dial day. 224 dials is 224 hires, 13 unique writers, 13 appointments. There's not a whole lot of difference there.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how many similarities there are between the selling side and the building side. Just the building side is a lot longer and can be a lot more stressful at times. So can you also explain to us why you are working on, like, why are you going through all of this stuff, like all this work to build an agency? Like,
Oh man, yeah, because I don't want to be slinging policies forever. I like people, so I like going out there and meeting with the people. But I also like, management. I like, helping agents have their own success and working with them on a regular basis, as opposed to seeing somebody for an hour and then probably never seeing them again. So, for that, it's big for my personality. And then also, man, the residual income that you can get is huge too. You look at what's been done within FFL, and you've got people like, John Wetmore and his team, who, I don't know his stats, but I know I heard him on a call say he's made 8 figures from this business. And I had to go, holy cow, like I hear people say 7 figures all the time. 7 figures. My goal, I want to make 7 figures. I want to retire with 8 figures. That's another figure, So, and he's only been doing this for like 8 years. I mean, that's awesome. So, and then even Athena, like, and her numbers, her bonus from corporate in September, maybe it was in a month, maybe it was August, was like $80,000, right? Her bonus check for the month. And she's been here since 2014. So like that's about building. That's not about going out and selling policies. That comes from building.
I was looking at the bonuses. The biggest bonus last month. Guess how much it was, Brian?
Oh man. 200,000.
Multiply that by 3.
Seriously? 600,000?
Over 600,000 bucks last month.
Non-charge backable bonus.
Yeah, and that's only going to it only gets bigger.
Yeah.
It's over 7 million bucks in 1 year from bonuses.
And that starts when your team is doing 150,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you start at like 2,500, right?
Yeah.
I believe that's, yeah. So that's crazy.
I remember asking John Wetmore when I first started, like, hey dude, how'd you get to where you're at? He goes, dude, same place you did, except I quit twice, but now here we are 7 years later. It was just always consistent for the first 3-4 years. He was trying to build, but it wasn't about him. He didn't actually have a process in place. As soon as he did that, just changed it from, hey, I want to have a massive agency. And he changed it instead of saying, hey, I want to scale my business. He goes, no, I want to help more people.
Yeah.
It's always about helping people get paid is what scales your business. But when you look at trying to scale something, you're not looking at the individual. And that's how he is able to build $100 million a year business. But sorry, I'll let anyone else take over questions. But I just thought that was really cool. Thanks for sharing, Brian.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Dan. Richard, you're raising your hand. What school did you go to? For crying out loud, just talk.
So just to be sure, we don't need any like somebody in a different state. We don't need to be licensed to manage people out of that state.
You have to have the carriers. And I think some of the states, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, I think some of the states do make you have your license in that state if the agent is, right?
Yeah, there's a select few states. I don't have the entire list.
Massachusetts. We went over that, Dan.
Yeah, definitely Massachusetts. I believe South Carolina is another one. Pennsylvania might be one. It's also going to vary by what company it is as well a little bit.
Yeah, I know Iowa is one because there's only one reason I have Iowa.
Yeah.
But it's so easy. You go to NIPR.com and you just go through and click, click, click. and say you want the state, you pay a small fee, and bam, that's it. Like within hours on some states, they're sending you your info. You're done. You're in. So it's real easy.
Yeah, Maine and Rhode Island, I got done in 2 hours. Like I was licensed in 2 hours from an IPR.
Cool. Anybody else? No questions? I must have done my job well.
It's pretty solid. You can't beat a PowerPoint.
Yeah, dude. Very good.
I only do it to keep myself on track.
I call that in the military
That's it.
death by PowerPoint. That's all. That's how they teach it.
Yeah. My fiance comes to me and she's like, why didn't you use, and I don't remember what program she said, but like I just finished the PowerPoint and she shows me this other app and I'm like, that is so much cooler. I am not redoing this.
And yeah, Brian, well, you can share this link on our Slack group here. That'd be all, or not the link, the actual PowerPoint. If you don't mind sending this,
Sure.
that'd be awesome.
Sure.
For any folks that are directly under Shadi and Brian, use everything that they got. If you're not directly under them, you're directly under myself and John, or in outside of. Let us know. We'll have our own separate links for all this stuff too, but it'll be very, very similar.
Yep. Yeah, I'll share this PowerPoint in Slack, no problem, so that everything is there.
Sweet. No other questions? Y'all ready to grow?
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, this is Danny. I have a question. When you bring someone in, like let's say a newer agent brings someone in, how does the upline situation work in that there? Would you like, let's just say hypothetically, like, brought in someone next week, would you be their upline and would you be the one that they would be calling from the home? Obviously, I wouldn't, not anywhere near qualified to do that. How does that exactly work?
Brian, do you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So yes, if I've had people who came in and as soon as I say you get bumped up in percentage, they're like, well, I have another person right now. I'm like, great, give me their name and number. And I will put them under either me or under Shadi, depending on whose team they're going on, until you are through the process, Danny. Once you are licensed, or once you're appointed with the carriers, then I'll switch them over to you and put them underneath you. It's a little bit easier, but essentially, you're not going to lose any of their policies or anything. So you can do it right away.
Gotcha.
Yeah, does that make sense? They'll get switched over to you as soon as it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
And no, you don't have to worry about teaching them anything. We're going to take care of all of that. They've got all our phone numbers to reach out to me, Shadi, Dan, Alexis. We have a bunch of phone numbers that are in the first step of onboarding, so they can put them in their phones.
Gotcha.
So yeah, no problem at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So Danny, you would, so just piggybacking off of that, you'd still be the upline. What I would just make sure you do, if you're not like a top producer yet, you don't know how to write 20, 30K,
Right.
make sure you direct them to someone on the team who is.
Gotcha.
Like someone in the hierarchy. You'll still get all the credit. You're not, right, we want to put people in a good position. If you're not like, yep. So there's folks here that have never written a bunch of business, but they have massive agencies. They're like air traffic controllers. They just know where to point everyone coming in at all different directions.
Right.
So
And that's why I love this team. Because that is truly a team. You know what I mean? Like people that are willing to help someone in a situation like that where they're not even considered their direct upline. Like we're near comfortable enough to, if I brought someone in, to be telling them what exactly to write, as I'm learning myself. So anyway, that was a long way of saying this team kicks ass.
That's awesome. Yeah, you don't have to say to somebody, hey, come work for me. You just say, come work on my team with me. You know? Yeah. So that makes it smooth.
Yeah, Brian. Hey, this is Scott. I just wanted to add to that. I came on board this team a few months ago, just on the admin side of things. And I've been super impressed working with you and Shadi and Dan. And if you are an Eagle or in the 360 team, you are lucky. And this is a great team. And as far as for me and Brian and Shadi go and Dan, we are here to take care of any needs you have and go out there and go after it.
Yeah, and Scott's been awesome too. He's fantastic to have helping me out, getting everybody through the onboarding and everything. So yeah, between he and I on Eagles and Dan and John and everything, yeah, your agents won't have any problems getting onboarded. We even had a meeting earlier today about making the process even better. So it's it's smooth.
If any of you guys have any ideas, we're always open to ideas. Please feel free to throw them out there, and we'll try to make something happen with it. But I appreciate all you guys hopping on here. We'll go ahead and get all that stuff posted in Slack in not too long. We'll also get a recording of this. If you guys have any questions on it, we'll get that out there too. Brian, man, I appreciate you taking the time to put all that stuff together. I know that definitely took some time and effort to get that together. So I appreciate you, dude. And let's all go out there and have a great weekend. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a shout. See you guys.